It is Football at 4. We take a look at the NFL, the Eagles, every day, 4 o'clock, with the guys from the Inside the Birds podcast, InsideTheBirds.com. Andrew DiCecco is back for a Friday edition on Happy Hour Friday, as we are about a month away from the start of Eagles camp. July 27th is when we believe that will open up. We are at June 25th, so almost 1 month until we get there. Andrew, what's going on, man? I do not hear Andrew. Is that me? Is that him? Oh,
I hear you.
Oh, there he is. Andrew, what's going on?
Hey, man, doing well.
All right, so a couple things. I know that you tweeted about this last night. Chris Sims did his top 40 quarterbacks. Now, let me ask you, is it preposterous to suggest that Jalen Hurts is not one of the top 40 quarterbacks in the current NFL?
Well, normally I don't like to give these type of things any attention. A lot of times these lists are floated to me, or someone tells me about it, or I stumbled across this one on my timeline, and I felt the need to comment on it because it is, it's just horrific. To not have Jalen Hurts in the top 40 is, I gave it a little bit more attention than I should have because it's just one person's opinion, and a lot of times they post these things just for engagement or for attention, and it doesn't make any sense. There's 6 players on that list that haven't taken an NFL snap, not to mention Zach Wilson's ranked ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Taysom Hill, I believe, is 24. I mean, there's just a lot of things that there's no.
I'll give you a couple of the names here, and you can kind of give me your reaction, because you're right. Number 40 is Case Keenum. In what world is Case Keenum better than anybody?
None. No world. He's not.
He was number 40. Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Okay, I can understand if you're like, hey, I think these rookies are going to be really good. But what about 37, Kellen Mond?
Yeah, I mean, another player that has yet to take an NFL snap and may not even do so this season. I don't quite know what point he was looking to get across there. I mean, but Jalen Hurts is a starter. He's played in 4 games. Yes, they weren't exactly. There's a lot. He left a lot to be desired in some areas of his game, as far as you would like to see him be more accurate with football and not as careless as far as when it comes to turnovers. But I mean, he's thrown touchdown passes. He's made plays. He beat the Saints. He's done things that a lot of guys, up to this point, you don't know what these guys are. So to not have him in the top 40 was a little puzzling.
Yeah. Now, a couple other guys, just, is it ridiculous? Like the guys I thought, all right, Case Keenum, even the rookies, I'm like, all right, if you just think potential-wise they're better, that's your opinion, fine. Kellen Mond, preposterous. How about Marcus Mariota?
Marcus Mariota is not better than Jalen Hurts right now.
At least that's a good feel. I mean, Marcus Mariota was the second pick in the draft, so suggest that Hurts, in your mind anyway, is a better quarterback now than him, who's won some games in this. Mariota, obviously he didn't turn out to be the player that we anticipated or we thought he might be, but he has won this game. What about Tyrod Taylor? Who'd you rather have, Hurts or Taylor?
Jalen Hurts. He's younger, more moldable. Tyrod Taylor at this point, he's reached his ceiling. You more or less know what he's capable of doing. Whereas Jalen Hurts, he has a young, fresh-faced coaching staff with a number of different ideas, and there's film on him now, so he's got to get to work with Brian Johnson, who can kind of iron out some of his deficiencies, and you'll really get a better idea of what he can do this season. I mean, he showed glimpses of his talent. Now I think that you have a young coaching staff that's willing, that's going to get in there and really mold him. It's going to be. I think that he's shown more promise than you've seen from Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor has shown, brief flashes throughout his career, but I mean, more or less, you know what he is.
All right, this is good because you're giving some well thought out stuff, and I agree with you here. All right, would you rather Jalen Hurts or Tua?
Going into the draft, I was much more of a Tua guy. I thought he had I thought he was going to be put in a better situation. I thought he was going to see the field first, which he did, and I thought that there was just more stability there. But right now, I just don't know if he has an NFL caliber arm. There's talks before the draft that the Dolphins may be considering a quarterback. They're tentative as to whether or not they were going to go forward with him being the guy. Whereas I think Jalen just has the innate athleticism and can make plays outside the pocket. I think that the Eagles have a lot of young weapons around him now, so it's a little bit more room for intrigue. Whereas other quarterbacks have been plugged into the Dolphins' offense, namely Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they've done a lot more with it. So I would lean towards Jalen now.
All right, we're in agreement there. All right, that was a good breakdown on Tua. How about the Denver duo of Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater? Would you rather either of those two or Jalen Hurts?
Well, neither of those two players are exciting. Drew Lock last season I was pretty high on. I thought that he had obviously the offense around him is well stocked. He should have had a breakout season. That didn't happen. Teddy Bridgewater is more of a game manager, good leader, solid quarterback, not one that's going to typically elevate the offense. He needs the pieces around him to be above average for him to really thrive. So, I mean, those two, they don't have a skill set that really excites me, whereas I think Jalen has a high ceiling. It's going to be up to Jalen to take to his coaching and really work on some areas that really some blemishes in this game that really just can't happen moving forward if he wants to have any semblance of success at the next level.
And by the way, this isn't, I don't think, Andrew or myself suggesting that Jalen Hurts is a top 20, 15 guy, but these guys so far are the guys ranked ahead. Chris Sims, who put this list together, and you're right, I don't like to say this list is the be-all, end-all, but it's certainly conversational to suggest where you view him in this league. Now, Jared Goff, I actually thought was a little low on the list. I thought that was kind of a slap in his face. So would you rather Goff or Hurts?
Jared Goff.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little low on this list, don't you think?
Yeah, and again, you got to take this list with a grain of salt. I mean, usually I just laugh at these things and keep moving and going about my day, but that one just had so many egregious picks and where they were sort of slotted that I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Okay.
And I think that's more of that. This is exactly what Chris Sims wanted when he put this list out. All of a sudden, he's got a lot of engagement and people are talking about it.
Yeah, and really, I mean, to think about, he's got Mac Jones at number 30 ahead of Trey Lance and Justin Fields. So forget Jalen Hurts for a second. How about the fact that he's got Mac Jones ahead of Lance and Fields?
Yeah, and Mac Jones may not even be starting. I believe it's going to be Cam Newton. So again, just horrendous.
Yeah. Andy Dalton at number 29. Andy Dalton or Jalen Hurts? Who are you starting?
Jalen Hurts. Andy Dalton was someone who it looked like he was turning a corner in about 2015 when they had the Jeremy Hill, they had Marvin Jones, AJ Green, Mohamed Sanu. There was a lot of pieces there, but again, the Andy Dalton of old really reared his head and he turned the football over, was streaky in spots when they really needed him to deliver. He's just a veteran bridge guy. Not much there, not much left in the tank for him. Give me the upside of a Jalen Hurts all day.
All right. So far, we are pretty much in agreement on all these. Andrew DiCecco at DiCecco NFL. Follow there. 28, Trevor Lawrence. 27, Zach Wilson. Not really fair to compare with rookies. So 26, Daniel Jones. Are you going Daniel Jones or Jalen Hurts? Who's the third and the fourth quarterback, I guess you could say, or maybe the second quarter? I think we both agree that Dak would be the number one. But how would you put Jalen Hurts between Fitzpatrick and Daniel Jones?
Well, right now, based on what we've seen, I would put Jalen at 3, and I would put Daniel Jones at 4. I think he is the least effective quarterback in the NFC East, Daniel Jones, that is. And when you're taking that high and you're on the doorstep of, really making some headway in the NFC East, given that all the dominoes that have fallen around him, and he just still couldn't deliver. I'm not sure that he ever will. I'm not sure if the light's going to come on for him. I'm not sure that he has what it takes to really be a franchise quarterback that they drafted him to be. So, I mean, again, I'll take the upside and the skill set of Jalen Hurts, who really gets to work with a young nucleus of coaches and work on and get a full preseason. Right? I can't stress that enough. He gets a preseason to really. And he knew that he was going to be the guy in January. Got to work, gets build continuity with this play, with his teammates and their pass catchers and all that. So that's going to ultimately help him moving forward.
Yeah, so far I think you and I have been on the same wavelength on all of these. Now this one's interesting. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, they were 24 and 25. Hurts or one of those two? How do you rank those guys?
Well, Jameis can at least throw the ball. Taysom Hill is more of a gadget guy, in my opinion. I mean, you saw his limitations when he played the Eagles. We saw that up close. Again, he's not someone that I envision being able to carry an offense. They're going to have to really build the offense up and have him just be more of a game manager, because he can't sit back in the pocket and drop back and throw the ball 20 times a game. I mean, he's just not that kind of player. He's going to look to elude the pocket and try to make plays with his legs and take advantage of his athleticism. But as far as being a traditional quarterback, he's not that.
All right, next up, let's see. Now, you mentioned Fitzpatrick. I guess you have him ahead, right? So this is the first one, number 23. So it sounds as if, unless there's somebody in the top 20 here, which we can kind of go over, because I think the top 20, he had some interesting twists and turns here, too. And, of course, it's happy hour Friday. We're having a little fun, but this list is outrageous. But quarterback conversation, people are probably screaming at the radio right now saying, wait, what? But you would say then Hill would be right around 20 – Hurts, would be right around the 24 spot.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. When you're evaluating the 32 starting quarterbacks, he's going to be towards the bottom, but not at the bottom. I mean, you've seen enough from him to sort of being able to have an assessment of what he's capable of going into this season. And then when you factor in all the different variables going into year two for Jalen, like I outlined, I think that'd be a fair slap for him.
Yeah, so you got 22 Roethlisberger, 21 Jimmy Garoppolo, 20 Cam Newton, 19 Sam Darnold. So I'll stop there. Do you have Hurts above any of that group? Roethlisberger, Garoppolo, Newton, Darnold?
Not yet, no.
19 was Darnold. All right, so 18 was Carson Wentz, which is kind of a tough one to do because we don't know what Wentz is in Indianapolis. And I don't think anybody it's fair to say Hurts is better than Wentz based off of 4 games. Joe Burrow was 17. Kirk Cousins was 16. Matt Ryan was 15. Derek Carr, 14. Baker Mayfield, 13. Tannehill, 12. Herbert, 11. Tom Brady, 10. Now, this is where I thought it was interesting, Andrew. The top 10, you had Stafford 8 ahead of Brady, or Prescott 9, Stafford 8, Kyler Murray 7, Lamar Jackson 6. That whole little area there, like Kyler Murray right now is ahead of Dak Prescott?
No, he's not. I think, people seem to forget what Dak is capable of because he was banged up last season, but let's not forget what he did early last season and years prior. He really has taken the next step in the natural progression, and there are pieces. He does have a lot of weapons around him to be successful. So I don't necessarily agree with that.
All right, and then a couple more that were kind of head-scratching here. Andrew DiCecco's with us here. We're looking at this Chris Sims top 40 quarterback countdown, which seemingly is preposterous. We've got Kyler Murray, 7, Lamar Jackson, 6, Russell Wilson, 5, Deshaun Watson, 4, Aaron Rodgers, 3, Josh Allen, 2. Is that outlandish? People would say Allen over Rodgers. Is that outlandish?
Yeah, but Allen's closer than what some may think on the surface. But he's still a 3 for me.
So you would go Mahomes, Rodgers, Allen. You have Allen up that far then?
He's either 3 or 4. I mean, I don't make lists. That's not something that I do. I just, I kind of just base it off of what as we're kind of going through this. But definitely Mahomes and Rodgers 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I'm not a guy who has like my list hanging out in my back pocket, like, oh, this is the way I have them. But just seeing that on the surface, I would certainly say Mahomes is probably 1, Rodgers is 2. What is it about Josh Allen that has propelled him? Because I think he's an interesting guy. When he was drafted, very inaccurate, strong arm. What has he kind of done to make himself, in some people's mind, a top 5 quarterback?
Well, the Bills added Stephon Diggs, which really will help any offense. He has a bona fide deep threat. I think that just working with the coaching staff around him, they've sort of familiarized himself with what he's good at and what he's not good at, and sort of built the offense around what he is good at. He's got a powerful arm. His accuracy has improved. He's less skittish in the pocket. He's more willing to hang back there and make the throw and work through his progressions. He really has taken a significant leap in his progression. So I think that he still has he has yet to scratch the surface of what he can really do, and I think he's trending upwards, and he will be in the conversation as one of the top quarterbacks, and I should say one of the top two in the near future.
What do you do with Lamar Jackson? How do you kind of view him? Is he a guy who's ascending? He was the MVP. Is he descending? What is your view of him?
Well, he has a lot to prove. I wouldn't necessarily call him ascending or descending. He's kind of just you're looking for him to take the next step. His accuracy needs to improve. There's no doubt that he's a dynamic talent and one of the most electrifying players in the open field. But he also has to, when you saw when the Bills got out to a lead and he had to sit back there and make throws, he wasn't necessarily able to do that. I mean, they invested a first-round pick in Hollywood Brown, and they have Boyk in there, who's very athletic and a big, tall guy that can go up there and get the football. And they have Mark Andrews, who's like, there are weapons there. And sometimes I feel like they're underutilized because of the quarterback. So, I mean, there's no doubt that he's tremendously athletic. Now it's just, can you take that next step? Can you be a guy that can sit back there should your team fall behind and make plays with your arm? That's the question that needs to be answered.
Andrew DiCecco, of course, Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. I loved your answer, too. I rarely exert energy acknowledging these lists, but to not have Jalen Hurts on this list is an absolute joke. And when I saw that, I said I was very intrigued to get your opinions on some of these guys. And so far, you've done a great job on breaking these down because I agree. Like, some of these guys are ridiculous. Even the other side, like Justin Herbert at number 11. It's not ridiculous, but to have him or like Tom Brady, number 10. The guy just won the Super Bowl last year. Was he great? No. But, I mean, Kyler Murray at number 7 is mind-boggling to me. I mean, he's got a long way to go. Mayfield will be very interesting. So it'll be very interesting to see how this all kind of plays out because I love the quarterback conversation. Of course, you do a great job of breaking them down. I'll leave you with this then. Of the rookie quarterbacks, which one has the best year?
I'm gonna say Justin Fields. I think Darnell Mooney takes a big step forward. The second-year receiver, he's going to be a good vertical threat for him. And I really like Justin Fields' skill set coming out of the draft. I thought he was a very mature player, plays within his skill set, and I think that he's going to have a decent year. I'm not high on Zach Wilson. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to endure some growing pains in Jacksonville. And I don't know that Mac Jones even starts over Cam Newton. So if I had to pick one right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say Justin Fields.
Now, the fact that your latest article at InsideTheBirds.com is looking at cornerbacks for next year, I guess that tells you all you need to know about this group of corners.
Oh yeah, easily the weakest cornerback group. The weakest cornerback group in the National Football League. They will do something there. They have to.
All right, Andrew DiCecco, Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, and, of course, a happy hour Friday edition, a little fun look at a pretty bad quarterback list. Thank you, Andrew.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
All right, Andrew's back on Tuesday for more Football at 4. Jeff's here on Monday, and, of course, on Wednesday, Adam Capital on Thursdays. The Inside the Birds crew brings you Football at 4